what you do, just introduce yourself real quickly, and then we'll get into the kind of how to think about culture when you're building a nonprofit.
Absolutely, yes. So thanks for having me. I am the program manager for Network for Good's Jumpstart program, under the umbrella of Bonterra. As you mentioned, we're one of the many business units under Bonterra, um, and we are like kind of like the fabric of technology for philanthropy, right? So, uh, in my scope, I work with a lot of nonprofit grantees. They're grantees under the foundation partners we work with. And what we do is we provide them with Network for Good, all-in-one donor management system, and fundraising coaching for a year-long capacity building program to help nonprofits be better fundraisers and get that additional support from our company to really exceed in that goal. So hopefully that leads to more funds, which leads to more impact, which means to longer lasting organizations.
And you experienced what a culture design process was like when Great Mondays came in and helped Bonterra. You were one of the culture ambassadors. So
Yes.
your question and your what you're thinking about now is how can I, Taj, help an organization not just learn how to fundraise better or use the software better, but actually build their culture and create something that helps the community thrive. So tell me, you ran a nonprofit. So tell me a little bit about some of the challenges, the culture driven
hmm
challenges that you came across that you think you would like to help other organizations address.
Yeah. So running a nonprofit was, when you even put your nonprofit down on paper, right? One of the check boxes you have to fill out is, what is your mission statement? What is your purpose, right? What is your organization's mission? And even crafting that is so key, because what you're doing is you're outlining what the next however many years your organization exists operates under as a mission. What is your core value as a company, right? So when I wrote my mission statement for Dancing for a Cause, you know, I wasn't sure what I wanted to write, but I came down to an organization uniting individuals under one common interest, that is dance, and with that common interest, creating a large student volunteering body to make a larger impact on the community and for the world. So that's a pretty long-winded way of saying utilize dance to unite people and then make those people do good things for the world, right? So um and that was my North Star. Like anytime I got stuck or confused or did not know what to do next, the mission statement helped guide me towards at least the right direction or trend in the right way. And a
Right?
lot of the
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it's supposed to do, right?
hmm
Ideally.
Absolutely. Ideally, it's supposed to do that, but what? Maybe I got lucky and I wrote a good mission statement. What if I didn't, right? I would be stuck a lot in a lot of different situations. Maybe my mission statement could have even been better, maybe more concise. I don't know, but no one gave me that direction or guidance. And when I worked with your company, Great Mondays, and you had a solid process that eventually came down to this final four core values for our company, which were awesome, and also based on our the people within the organization, and it really held true. And it's a hard feat to accomplish with all these different business units under one umbrella that just got
Yep.
acquired, right? So
Yep.
taking that to like a smaller scale, like, when I was reading your book, I saw like company, how they treat your employees is shows how they then treat the customer, which then leads to profit, which then helps the company, right? There's a framework there, but that doesn't just have to be limited to a for-profit company, right? Like any organization, any group of people can benefit from having alignment in culture, values, and mission.
Yeah.
So um that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm always thinking, day to day, my 9 to 5, that, how are we helping our grantees make the most out of the Jumpstart program, building capacity, building impact? How much have they improved in 1 year's time? And, a lot of the times I'm noticing over the phone, speaking to these organizations, they're pretty understaffed, or the CEO is the one with all the passion and everyone else is just kind of helping them,
They're
right?
struggling. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how can we create more organizational culture and alignment for nonprofits too, so that they could have
Yeah.
a stronger team in general towards their mission, right? Instead of just thinking about fundraising, but like what's before that.
Exactly. Well, one of the so when we were talking a little bit before I pressed record, one of the what I have realized, because Great Mondays works with hypergrowth technology firms, but we also do a lot of work in social enterprise, so schools, religious organizations, foundations, and what I realize is that while at a for-profit, the community that we're talking about are employees, the people that are paid to show up and do the work. But at nonprofits, the paid employees is a much smaller group. I mean, we're talking about 12 people that run a national organization, if we're
Hmm.
lucky. And
Yeah.
so when we're thinking about culture, yes, you obviously describe, you're like, okay, so the person there, the president, the founder, or whomever it might be, they have the passion, and then you've got people that are struggling below them. So yes, we need to get them on board. But when I've worked with organizations, the community that we need to think about, and culture is all about um, setting expectations around behaviors and decision making. And when we're thinking about a nonprofit, we're thinking about a community. And these are the people that we have to think about and incentivize that are not being paid to show up. And so
Absolutely.
that then leads me to the realization that the value that a company can provide to its community members, yes, maybe a paycheck, but it could be so much more. And that's what we have to distinguish, and that's what we have to determine is what are the motivations and why are we showing up? And I'm a volunteer, I'm not even getting paid. So
Hmm.
what is it? What is the value that I am receiving from this? It might be doing good, but there's a lot of other more explicit descriptions around the value that I can provide, and even just defining that how I'm doing good, the mission statement or the purpose statement, is going to be part of the motivation. But you need those values to keep you also like what is an appropriate choice? What is an appropriate decision?
Hmm.
Because that intrinsic motivation is how these people are going to show up. And
Yeah.
that's how I think about it. And I don't know if that resonates with you.
Organizational commitment doesn't just have to be from internal uh, staff members. It Organizational commitment also comes from your donors, comes from your volunteers, comes from your donors, fathers and mothers and sisters and brothers, people who support your mission. And if you have a strong culture behind it and it makes sense and there's a branding behind it, it's easier to get those donors to stick with you and lead to what is I think is what everyone would care about is at the end of the day, the impact your organization has on the
Yep.
community and the world,
Yep.
right? So,
Yep.
but even then, you could have a lot of impact and no one knows what you're doing because you're not crafting it, you're not narrating it, you're not explaining or looking back at what you've done and sharing it for everyone to be inspired from, or what have you. So,
Yeah.
everything that I'm still not done with your book, as I said, but like as I'm reading it, I see a lot of like parallels into how it could better serve or how these frameworks can be translated into a nonprofits world. And of course, like that plus the fact that I deal with nonprofits every day, and a goal, like a purpose of my work is to help them be better nonprofits. you know I just see like there's a lot of good that you can do too, Josh. You're just not you're not plugged in there yet. But like
Right.
if Josh was here to teach some of these nonprofits, like maybe their
Yeah.
work can be in another direction,
I believe it.
so I think
Exactly.
that translates to anything, right? Any organization, any team, any group of people working together, any tribe, whatever. Like there needs to be alignment on mission, goals, values. Um, so
And
yeah,
understanding about what you signed up for. What am I going to be doing, and what do I get? Amazing. All right, Taj, I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out and having this conversation with me. So Taj is part of Bonterra Tech, BonterraTech, Tech.com. If you want to check out the good stuff that they're doing, it's amazing. And yeah, awesome. Thank you for being on this journey with us in the Great Mondays community.
thank you. Thank you for having me, Josh.